Beginner's luck isn't luck. It's a state you once had. And until you re enter that state, you are going to be forcing progress. You are going to be like Sisyphus pushing that boulder up that mountain. When in reality, things could be so much easier for you. I want you to think about an area in your life where you experience beginner's luck. It doesn't even have to be in your business. When you initially started, things were going so well. You were making progress that people didn't believe you were making. And when people would comment on your progress or just say, oh, this is beginner's luck, oh, it happened to me, so soon things are going to end. This phase of beginner's luck, it happened before expectations. It happened before people could talk about what you were doing. It happened before you had even formed a conception of what you expected from what you were doing. You were just working at it, right? And the reason why I know beginner's luck isn't a luck is because for most people, and probably for you, you have experienced beginner's luck in virtually every new thing that you've done. You may not have been the best. You may not have started in the Michael Jordan of basketball, but you were making more shots than you were making a week later, right? It's happened in multiple realms, and it's happened enough times for it not to be luck. Because can beginner's luck actually be beginner's luck when it happens every single time that a beginner happens? If it happens every single time, let's say every time or 90% of the time that someone starts something, they're actually better off than they'll be 2 weeks later, which is the funny thing about beginner's luck. Because you will start off the first week that you're doing something, you will get better results than you'll get 3 weeks later. Does that make sense? Because you would have been putting in more effort. You would be technically more gifted. You would have more reps. You'd have more experience in that realm of life. But how does it make sense that it is a common phenomenon that the first time you try something, you are better than you are at it maybe 2 weeks later? Does that make sense? Is that luck? And with the frequency at which it happens, can you call it luck? Or it is just a state that people enter? The first thing that I want you to realize that it's not luck. Because for something to be lucky, it has to happen a limited amount of times. It can't be something that is always happening to you, like, oh, how is this always happening? If it happens to every single beginner, it cancels that luck. And now we have to conclude that it's a state, because states of consciousness lead to the results that we get in life. So if it isn't luck, it's a state, of which luck also I believe is a state of mind, but we're gonna cover that in a different video. The second thing I wanted you to recognize is that it's happened in so many. I tried to gloss over that one. I won't. But it's happened in so many realms of life that it can't just be luck. See, I've had beginner's luck when I started playing golf, when I started playing FIFA on PlayStation, when I started posting content. I had a YouTube channel. I went from like 0 to 500 subscribers in 2 months on this YouTube channel. Then for me to get the next 400 subscribers took about a year. And I just thought, oh, I had beginner's luck. When my videos were objectively getting better, I was objectively doing more things. So again, I want you to think about the time when you had the most intense period of beginner's luck, where even you were thinking, okay, this is crazy. I don't even know what's going on. I want you to notice that it was a time before you had conceptions about how things would be. It was a time before you had beliefs or you adopted the beliefs of people around you. It was a time when you didn't really have motivation. All you had was curiosity and self-alignment in that area. You weren't motivated like, yeah, I'm going to do this, but you genuinely enjoyed what you were doing, partly because you were getting good results, partly because you were experiencing that beginner's luck. And now I also want you to think, when did things begin to change? When did your beginner's luck start fading? It's probably when you decided that, okay, I want to get better, which is a paradox. You wanting to get better led to the beginner's luck going. It led to your rate of increase decreasing. So what happened is you decided that you wanted to get better and you're like, okay, let me go on YouTube. So you went and you watched this YouTube video of someone who had been in the game for 10 years. And the very first thing in that video, he said, it wasn't an easy journey. I struggled for 8 years, and on the 9th year, I got there. I posted 1,000 videos, then on the 1,001st video, it got 10 million views, and I blew up. I went viral, and my life has changed ever since. You have seen so many stories where people are communicating to you that they went through hardship, that they had to struggle to get where they are. And this is the norm. The thing about human beings, which whenever we do it, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And in fact, not whenever we do it, this is our default setting, is that even though we value ease in our personal lives, we find struggle, we find hardship noble. And that comes from, let's say, when you're reading the Bible and Jesus, and they will be saying, "Blessed are those who go through hardship. Blessed are those who are heartbroken, because I will be close to them." And we have extended that to our lives. We have extended that to our businesses, to our sports, to posting content, whatever it is that you may be doing. You have probably extended that idea that it is good. It is noble to suffer. It is noble to be the person who has gone through periods, or not even gone through periods, where when they started things weren't working, right? We glorify that story of someone who wasn't good at the thing that they were doing, and they worked at it, they worked at it, they worked at it, they worked at it, and eventually, after 10,000 years, they became good at it, and things started working. And of course, that is a good story, because it proves to you that you can do anything in this life, so long as you put your mind to it. But the undesired side effect of that is you start to see hardship, struggle as nobility. You start to see other people, because the thing is, you're watching a YouTube video and you already respect the person who you're watching from. So you will see, oh damn, this person's posting on content and he has 2 million followers and he's telling you that I struggled. I didn't even have Wi-Fi, so I'd post a video, but then the video wouldn't post, and I did this for 3 years. I didn't even know if my videos were posting. I just gambled and I pressed post. Whether my data would work on that day, I didn't know, but I went through the struggle, I went through the hardship, I went through the rain, and now the sun's shining on me. That's what you see. And because you respect that person, because most people around you promote this idea of things being hard, you believe that things have to be hard for you. So you adopt these beliefs that, oh, it's going to be hard. Oh, it's going to take time. Oh, it's complicated to improve. Things aren't that simple, because the people in the space that you're doing your things in, they promote those ideas. They say that things aren't that easy. They say that, yo, when I started, things were amazing. And then I started struggling. My beginner's luck went away. But beginner's luck isn't luck, because everyone experiences, so everyone can't experience luck in the exact same way, because luck by definition isn't something that you can manufacture, isn't something that you can predict that, okay, everyone or a vast majority of people are going to experience luck at this exact period. No, it's a state of mind, it's a state of consciousness. As I said, your state of consciousness leads to your life. So I know I've said this like 3 times in this video, but I want you to get out of your mind that beginner's luck is luck. It's a state of mind, and a state of mind that you can live with. The most important thing that I want you to understand is that your beginner's luck faded when you became aware of the industry standards, the industry beliefs. You became aware of all the things that you needed to improve, all the things that you weren't doing right. And what that does is it convinces you subconsciously that, okay, I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be getting good results, because number one, I'm not recording in the right frame, my camera isn't good enough, I haven't made enough videos. Because this guy who has 2 million followers, he posted 1,000 videos before he got to 5,000 followers, and then he started blowing up. I've only posted 5 videos, so I don't deserve to blow up. And that's the key. You believe that you don't deserve to blow up. You believe that you don't deserve to get the results that you're currently getting as a beginner, because you haven't put in the reps that these so-called veterans have put in. So in this life, right, how I think about it is, you are only ever going to experience your life. So there's no point of imposing these beliefs that don't benefit you. Does it benefit you to think or to believe that things have to be hard, that I have to put in the reps, that I have to struggle, I have to suffer before I can finally make it? Does it benefit you in any way? Does it benefit you? What it does do is it makes you feel like you are more deserving. It makes you feel like a better person, because be honest, when you are succeeding early on, when you are doing things and they're easy and it's not taking as long as it takes for other people, you start to feel bad. You start to feel guilty, like, why is this so easy for me? Why am I succeeding in such a flawless manner, such a easy manner, when other people are struggling? And the thing is, right, human beings, we are very similar. So other people, you know this, other people will see you succeeding first, and you don't want to be judged by other people. You don't want to be labeled as an outcast. People looking at you because you're doing well, you're doing better than other people, saying, it's just luck. You're just getting lucky. I don't know why you have favor from God. We don't want to be that person that everyone is looking with disdain, looking at with envy. As much as we want to have better lives than everyone else, which is what you want. I don't know if you're base enough to admit it, but you want a life that is better than the average person. But we also don't want to stand out. We also don't want to be the person who is the receptor of people saying, look at this person. I just got lucky. Whatever. Because essentially what they're doing is discounting your success and reconfirming that belief in your mind that you don't deserve it. I really want this to get into your head, so I'm going to break it down. Everything that I've been talking right now in a simple way, I'm going to try and get through it quickly. Essentially, what happened is you had no preconceived notions of how things could be. You had no beliefs as to how you should proceed. You were just paying attention to the things that you liked. Your perception of what you were doing was untainted by everyone else. You made progress, and because you were making progress, you were excited to make more progress. So naturally, you decided to seek further help, seek further tips. Or what happens is you were making progress and then you came across your first roadblock, your first hump, and you're like, how do I solve it? And in trying to solve it, you went on YouTube and you saw that video where someone was saying, I put in 10,000 hours. I posted 10,000 videos before I ever reached 1,000 subscribers. And because you respect the person, because that person has achieved what you want to achieve, you start to think that, okay, this is the way to go. Because what has happened is you have put that person that you're seeing above yourself. So you value their opinion more in the realm that you're doing things because they've achieved more than you, which is a valid thing to do. But it's the worst thing that you can do to your subconscious mind, because now that you have given that person power over your beliefs, power over your attention, power over your conceptions, power over your perceptions, you have now given that person power over your reality, because those are part of the 7 cornerstones of the facets that create your reality. If you don't know, the facets that create your reality are: number 1, your beliefs, your emotionally charged thoughts, your attention, your perception, your expectation, that's 5. This always happens. Expectation. There's 2 more. There's 2 more. I don't know what the other 2 are, but I'm not going to say the other 2. I'm just going to... Damn. That's actually pissing me off. So anyways, you allowed the person that you were watching to alter your attention, to alter your perception, to alter your beliefs, to alter your emotionally charged thoughts, to alter your expectations. It's pissing me off that I don't know. Anyways, you allow them to alter that, and thus you allow them to alter your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is the thing that leads to your reality. It is the causer of your reality. If you don't know that reality, the things that we see on this physical plane aren't caused by physical actions. They aren't caused by the things that you do. They are caused by your being. Your state of being leads to internal hunches. Those internal hunches lead to you doing certain things, and those certain things lead to your reality. So we see, because we look at this 3rd dimensional realm, we look at what we see and we see actions, and this action has led to this result. We think the action is the cause of the effect that we call reality, when in actuality, action is just a midwife for what was before. So action is the middleman. What actually causes it is your state of consciousness. State of consciousness leads to action, then action leads to the results. Fair enough, you may say, so that if there's no action, it's not going to lead to the result. But we all know that person who does the correct actions. They do they do everything perfectly. They have the business strategy. That person may be you. In your business, you may have all the strategies. You may have the correct funnel. You may have I don't know, the best lead generation. You're posting content every single day. You're optimizing your content so that you get your ideal target avatar to come towards you. And no matter what you are doing, things just aren't working. And the funny thing is, not even the funny thing, the frustrating thing is, you know a person who isn't doing the things that you are doing to the level that you're doing them, and they're making far more than you. And it pisses you off because you still believe that action leads to your reality. You need to get the notion that action leads to your reality out of it. Action is only a midwife for your state of consciousness. And we know this because there's so many people in the world who are working harder than you, who are doing correct things, and their businesses don't work. There's so many people who have been in business for 20 years and they haven't made as much money as someone who's just into their business 2 years ago. Everywhere you look, there's a story of someone or a representation of someone who works so hard, but no matter what, things just aren't working. They are doing all the right things, they're reading the books, they're developing themselves, but still they can't surpass that ceiling. There are examples everywhere. And the thing is, I think human beings, we shoot ourselves in the foot by trying to ignore, not even trying to ignore, we just ignore them. We think, nah, I won't be that person. I won't be that person. But subconsciously, you are starting to accept that idea, and it's leading to your current reality. So, that is essentially how you had beginner's luck, the state of beginner's luck, and it was stripped away from you. And I want to give you an insight on why the greats in sports are actually great. If you look at most of the greats, the ones I'm thinking about are Lionel Messi, I'm thinking about Michael Jordan, I'm thinking about LeBron James, right? Those are the people I'm thinking about. They broke onto the scene and they were stars, right? So fair enough, they aren't beginners, but for the sake of this example, believe that they're beginners. But at one time, they were beginners. Anyways, they're beginners, they're the rookies. So they're essentially having beginners luck. They're in the league, so they have a breakout season, right? And how many wonder kids have we seen? We have seen so many wonder kids in these sports, football especially, where they break out on the scene. They're 17, 18 years, and they're tearing it up. They're actually one of the best players in the world at that point. But then they play, they're 20. Their performance starts going down. And eventually they become just like the average player. Eventually they become just like the average player. Or they're slightly better, but they're not at the stage where they were when they were in their breakout phase. So I'm just conceptualizing that breakout phase as beginner's luck. The difference between those players who are wonder kids and the people who become the Michael Jordans, the Lionel Messi, the Cristiano Ronaldos, the LeBron James, the Tiger Woods, right, is their state of beginner's luck. They keep it. They don't accept the industry norms. They don't accept the industry beliefs. They don't have the average industry person's attention. They're not paying attention to the same things that the average person is paying attention to. The way they perceive the things that happen to them and the things that they do is different to the people around them. The emotionally charged thoughts that they have, the thoughts that they allow themselves to entertain are different. If you look at Michael Jordan, he's the classic example of this. He has this quote saying, why would I think about missing a shot that I haven't even taken yet? Whereas the average person would be like, what if I miss a shot? Let me just try optimize to get the best shot possible for me making it. Michael Jordan missed more shots than most people in the NBA. But funnily enough, he made more shots than most people in the NBA. In the NBA. Why? Because he wasn't concerned. His state of consciousness, nowhere in his state of consciousness was a thought of, I might miss this shot. Nowhere in his state of consciousness was a thought of failure beforehand. That's the difference between these guys. These guys aren't thinking about, oh, I might feel, oh, this is hard. Oh, the average person does this. Oh, this person had to work for 5 years, and after 5 years, he finally unlocked the secrets in his technique, and then he had hit his prime when he was 29 years old. No, these players, these greats, they hit their prime early on. And the thing is, you can't even call it their prime. They start performing early on and they get better and better and better and better each year. Why? Because they do not accept the industry norms. They do not accept the beliefs of the average person in their profession. The problem is with you. Let me not say the problem with you because it makes it seem like you're doing it on purpose. But that's the crazy thing. You probably didn't do it on purpose. But you accepted the norms, the beliefs, the attention, the perception, the emotionally charged thoughts of the average person in your realm. And if you had that, and if you have, I think I'm mashing up my words. If you have the beliefs, attention, etc. of the average person, how else can you create a reality that is different from the other person? Because like I said, those are the causes of your reality. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're a 5-figure entrepreneur or you're a professional athlete who feels as if you have mind blocks that have prevented you from performing as well as you could have, from getting as much money as you can, I help exactly those people unlock those mental blocks and reach the performance that they truly deserve and they're truly worthy of. So if you're interested in that, click the first link in the description and it will take you to a Google form where you can just sign up for that and we'll end up having a call. Anyways, you'll see. That's not the point of this video. You may be thinking, okay, you've shown me how and why beginner's luck isn't luck. It's a state. How can I stay in this state forever? The first thing I want to tell you is you're not going to stay in that state forever. States are fleeting. Everything on this third dimensional realm is fleeting. Why? Because of the law of rhythm. So you're going to be, let's say you're going to be happy, then you're going to be sad, then you're going to be happy, then you're going to be sad, then you're going to be happy, and you're going to be sad. That's a natural law of life. Things go up and down. There are going to be times in your business where you're booming. Then there are going to be times where things are a bit dry. There are going to be times in your career where you're scoring goals, you're scoring tries, everything you're doing is turning to gold. Then there's going to be there's going to be a patch where things just don't work. And that's just a natural part of life. It's a part of life that you can't avoid. But what you can do is mitigate the effects of it by maintaining a good state of consciousness. So the first thing I will say to you about that, which isn't even a point of this video, but I find it important to tell you, is that everything is one. The good and the bad are one. The purple patch and the patch where nothing is going your way are one. And it's only when we see the separation in those things that we prolong them lasting. And more specifically, you prolong the bad things lasting, because you will see these two things as different. You will see you're just doing terribly, like, damn, I want to get to this point, I want to get to this point, I want to get to this point. But the thing with this universe is you can only have what you already have. So by you saying, I want to become good again, I want to play well again, I want to play well again, why am I playing so terribly? You have signaled to yourself that you don't have that thing. And because you've signaled to yourself that you don't have that thing, you make it infinitely harder for you to get that thing, because you can only have what you already have. So the first thing I wanted you to realize is that beginner's luck is a state. And yes, you can be in that state more consistently. And relax, I'm going to teach you how to be in that state more consistently. However, I just want you to know that you will not be in that state forever, because like any other state, it's fleeting. It's going to come back, but it's going to go. But it's going to come back, but it's going to go. But what you can do is create a state of consciousness that allows you to stay in that state longer. So the first thing that you need to do is to reject industry norms, beliefs, and expectations. The reason being, especially for your beliefs, your expectations, is those things shape your reality. They are not truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind has accepted as true. So when you accept the industry norms, the normal beliefs, you now consign yourself to the industry norms typical results. And if you're watching my video, if you are the type of person who's clicking on videos thinking, okay, how can I improve my mind so that I get better results? You don't want the industry norms. You don't want the average results. You don't want to be average whatsoever. So if you don't want to be average, how could you ever allow yourself to accept industry norms? How could you ever allow yourself to accept industry beliefs? How could you ever allow yourself to accept industry convictions? How could you ever allow yourself to accept industry expectations? Because if you accepted those industry beliefs, convictions, expectations, emotionally charged thoughts, you are naturally going to receive the reality of the industry, or the average person in the industry, my bad. If you naturally rejected and didn't allow yourself to accept the industry norms, all those things, remember the 7 pillars of your reality creation that I was talking about: your beliefs, your emotionally charged thoughts, your attention, your expectations, your convictions, your... There's a dog barking in the background. I hope it's really not picking up for you. But anyways, so if you accepted those, naturally you're going to have a different reality to everyone else. But the thing that I want to emphasize most is your attention would shift. Because you haven't accepted the industry norms of things having to be a certain way, right? People having to struggle. You are not going to pay attention to the people who have struggled. You are not going to pay attention and believe people who have achieved high success but have struggled. You are going to look for the easiest way for you to do things, because what? You don't have the belief. You don't have the industry norm belief that things have to be hard, that you have to put in 10,000 hours, that you have to post 10,000 videos before you can ever blow up, before anyone can buy your product, that you have to be in business for 3 years struggling, and then you will get your first client that would finally take you out the mud. No, we like a soft life. We like a soft life here. And growing up in Zimbabwe, I have seen that people unnecessarily put themselves through strife because we believe things are supposed to be hard. We reaffirm that every day you ask someone, how's your day? Mawan. Essentially, what Mawan means is that things are not good. So obviously, the most important thing you have to do is to reject industry norms, to reject the industry beliefs, to reject the industry expectations, and naturally everything downstream will be fixed. However, something that you can add to that, which would naturally be fixed either way, but to train yourself to not accept industry norms, is to pay attention to people who don't conform to the industry norms. Pay attention to the person who blew up in 3 months. Pay attention to the person who burst onto the scene and they kept on improving. They didn't have this plateau. They just kept on improving. Pay attention to the person who started a business and in a short amount of time, they're already making their goal amount of money. There are people who I know who have started a business, right? And in the second month, they have made $100,000 a month. Why? Because they didn't have the beliefs of the average person. See, the fair thing about this person, right, who went from $0 to $100,000 a month in 2 months, he had no prior experience of that thing, is he was surrounded by people who were making that amount of money. So he already believed that, oh, this is a normal amount of money to make. Oh, it's not hard to make $100,000 a month. So he accepted the beliefs, the expectations, the convictions of people who were already where he was. And those people didn't believe that it was hard to get to that point. He saw them every day. He saw them use the toilets. He saw that they were regular people, random people who happened to be his friends. So he knew intrinsically that, okay, this isn't out of the realm of the things that I could do. So what I want you to do, pay attention to those who don't conform to the industry norms. The reason why is because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're constantly paying attention to the people who are doing far better than everyone else, that is going to be your norm. That is going to be the energy that you are going to radiate in your life. And energy leads to reality. I want you to remember that. Write that down. Energy leads to reality. The last thing that I'm going to say to you is you need to enter a state of beginner's luck. And that state feels different for everyone here. For you, it may be this ecstasy. It may be this calm. For me, it's calm because I'm naturally just a calm person. So when I think back to the times where, in fact, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think back to a time where you experienced beginner's luck to its core. Where you were even surprised, like, damn, what am I doing? So I want you to sit down, get into a relaxed state, wait until your brain quiets down and your mind is quiet. You are no longer consciously thinking, you're just the observer of your thoughts. And once you reach that state, I want you to mentally visualize that experience where you were experiencing beginner's luck. Like the peakest beginner's luck that you've experienced. I want you to think about that. I want you to experience it again and again and again. I want you to loop it. I want you to get into that state. Why? Because your state of consciousness leads to your reality. So if you're in the same states that you were in when you're experiencing beginner's luck in a certain realm, it is factual to assume that that state of consciousness is going to lead to a similar reality. And if you want to go the extra mile, start off by visualizing a situation where you experienced beginner's luck. And then once you've gotten yourself into that state of beginner's luck where you're thinking like, damn, I'm that nigga, which is what a lot of people experience during beginner's luck. They were thinking like, damn, I'm doing better than these people. And you finish these persons. I'm doing better than these people. And you felt a sense of pride. You won't admit it, but you felt a sense of like, I'm better than you, nigga. That's what you felt. But anyways, what I want you to do is think or visualize that experience where you had beginner's luck. And then halfway through, once you were in that state of mind, shift to the thing that you want to experience beginner's luck in. What would it be like for things to flow effortlessly? What would it be like for you to constantly improve? What would it be like for you to just do the things that you want to do? And I want you to experience that those same emotions that you felt when you previously had beginner's luck, feel them with what you want to have beginner's luck in. Because when you feel it emotionally, what that does is it programs your subconscious mind, because emotion is a language of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind won't understand you if you aren't speaking emotion. So now that you've matched the beginner's luck emotion in the past with what you want to experience and adding that emotion to it, you have now started the process of programming your subconscious mind to be in that state. And eventually down the line, your reality is going to reflect that. It may even be instant, because all this stuff is instant. There's no conception of time in your subconscious mind. The memories you have from 20 years ago, you are still experiencing them right now. And ladies and gentlemen, the viewer who is watching this, that is how you enter a state of beginner's luck. And the key thing I want you to remember from this video is beginner's luck isn't luck. It's a state. And like all states, you can put yourself in it.